Long ago, in the land of Uz, lived a man named Job. He was righteous, prosperous, and beloved by all who knew him. But little did Job know that his faith and character would be tested in ways he could never imagine. Job was a man of immense wealth. He had a large family, thousands of livestock, and numerous servants. But his greatest treasure was his unwavering faith in God. Every morning, Job would rise early and offer sacrifices, praying for the safety and well-being of his family. He was devoted not just to his own success, but to the spiritual health of those he loved. In his heart, Job knew that all he had was a blessing. But as in life, sometimes even the strongest faith must face trials. One day, in the heavenly realm, a conversation took place that would alter Job's life forever. Satan, the adversary, questioned Job's devotion. Was it real, or was it simply because Job lived a life of comfort? In a single day, Job lost everything: his livestock, his servants, even his children. His wealth vanished before his eyes. But Job did not curse God. Job mourned deeply. Yet in his sorrow, he fell to the ground and said, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." His faith remained strong. Even when his own wife, overwhelmed by grief, urged him to curse God and die, Job remained steadfast. "Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" he replied. In life, we all face moments where everything seems to crumble. Like Job, we may lose things we hold dear. But the story teaches us this: true faith endures not just in times of blessing, but also in hardship. Soon, Job's friends arrived. They came to comfort him, but their words quickly turned into harsh accusations. They believed that Job's suffering must have been his fault, a punishment for some hidden sin. Job defended himself. He knew he had done nothing wrong, yet he struggled to understand why such pain had come upon him. His friends, however, could not see past their judgment. How often do we, like Job's friends, jump to conclusions about the suffering of others? It's easy to assume that hardship is the result of failure or wrongdoing. But sometimes, it's just life's way of testing our strength. When others are in pain, be slow to judge and quick to listen. Sometimes, the most powerful thing we can offer is our presence, not our opinions. As the days turned into weeks, Job began to question. He cried out to God, seeking answers. "Why me? What have I done to deserve this?" We've all had moments where life feels unfair. Like Job, we ask, "Why?" But often, the answers don't come immediately or at all. Job's story reminds us that not every question has an answer, at least not right away. Patience is the key, even when we don't understand why we are suffering. Job's friends continued to accuse him, but he stood firm in his integrity. He knew that his suffering was not a punishment, but he still struggled to find meaning in it all. In life, there will be those who question your character, especially when you're down. But staying true to who you are, even in the face of adversity, is a powerful testament to your inner strength. Job's story teaches us to hold onto our integrity. When life feels unfair and others judge you, the most important thing is to stay true to yourself and your values. And then, when Job was at his lowest, God spoke. Out of a whirlwind, God reminded Job of his power and wisdom. "Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth?" God asked. In that moment, Job realized that there are mysteries far beyond human understanding. Sometimes, we have to trust that there is a bigger plan at work, one that we may never fully grasp. Job's experience shows us that while we may never understand all the reasons for our pain, faith in a higher purpose can give us the strength to endure. In the end, Job was restored. His faith, though tested, remained intact, and God blessed him with even greater fortunes than before. Like Job, many of us will experience seasons of restoration after hardship. We may not know when or how, but the dark clouds often give way to brighter days. The story of Job is one of resilience, faith, and the enduring human spirit. It teaches us that even in the darkest times, there is hope. Job's journey invites us to reflect on our own lives. What do we do when we face suffering? How can we hold on to hope, even when the reasons for our pain are unclear? As we walk through our own trials, let us remember the lessons of Job. Faith, patience, integrity, and trust can guide us through the darkest valleys. The story doesn't end here. It continues, reminding us that faith is not a one-time decision but a lifelong journey. And so, like Job, we continue onward through every storm, trusting that beyond the clouds, there is a light waiting to shine upon us. Job's life was restored in ways he couldn't have imagined. His wealth was doubled, and he was blessed with a new family. Yet, the scars of his past trials remained a part of him, a testament to his endurance and faith. Just as Job's life was restored, so too can our lives find renewal after hardship. We may not always understand why we go through suffering, but like Job, we can emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Job's restoration wasn't just about material wealth. It was about the restoration of his spirit. He had walked through the fire and came out refined, knowing that his faith had not been in vain. His face told the story of a man who had been through unimaginable trials, but had never lost his trust in God. His heart, though broken at times, remained whole through his unwavering faith. And though there were moments of doubt, even those closest to Job came to understand the power of resilience. His wife, who once urged him to give up, now stood beside him in celebration of their renewed blessings. Like Job's friends, we may sometimes fail to understand another's suffering. But Job teaches us that true friendship lies in listening, supporting, and withholding judgment during someone's lowest points. Job's new family was a sign of the new life that had come after the storm. The laughter of his children was a reminder that even after great loss, joy can return and life can bloom once more. Through Job's story, we are reminded that suffering is a part of the human experience. But suffering doesn't define us. It refines us. When we remain faithful, we often discover a strength we never knew we had. Job's journey wasn't about the material things he lost and gained. It was about the lessons he learned along the way. In the end, Job realized that faith is not about having all the answers, but about trusting the one who does. As we look back on our lives, we can often see how the hardest moments shaped us into who we are today. The trials we face, like Job's, have the power to transform us if we let them. Job's friends, who once doubted him, now sat with him in his restored life. They too learned that suffering is not always a punishment, but can be a pathway to deeper understanding and growth. Job teaches us perseverance. When everything seems to fall apart, we can find the strength to keep moving forward, knowing that our trials are only temporary. In the end, our faith will see us through. Job lived a long life, surrounded by those he loved. He passed on his wisdom to his children, teaching them the importance of faith, integrity, and trust in God's plan, even when it seemed unclear. Like Job, we too can find peace after the storm. As we gather with those we love, we are reminded that life's greatest blessings often come after the hardest battles. In the end, the story of Job reminds us of life's ebb and flow. Just as the waves rise and fall, so do our challenges and triumphs. But through it all, we can find peace in knowing that we are never alone. And as Job looked up at the heavens, he knew that there was something far greater than his suffering, something far beyond his understanding. He had learned to trust in the mystery of life, knowing that everything happens for a reason. Like Job, we can find strength in surrender. When we let go of the need to control everything and trust in something greater than ourselves, we find a peace that passes all understanding. The story of Job is not one of defeat, but of hope and renewal. It teaches us that after the darkest nights, the sun will always rise again, bringing with it the promise of a new day. The story of Job continues, reminding us that life is a journey of faith, filled with ups and downs, but always moving towards something greater.